And all right, go ahead, Ollie.
Okay. Hi, I'm Holly Betts. I'm the program manager here at the Westport Center for Senior Activities, and I am going to be making a cookie called Hamantaschen, which is traditionally made for the holiday called Purim, which is celebrated in Jewish faith. So for my people who are here, do you all know what Purim is?
Yes.
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 Yep. Okay. So just real quick, Purim is celebrated because wicked Haman wished to kill all the Jews of the Persian Empire. He built gallows, especially for Mordecai. And Mordecai heard about the plan and warned Esther, and that was Queen Esther. And she was Jewish, and she didn't want to tell the king she was Jewish, but he found out she was Jewish, so she would have to be killed because Haman was going to kill all the Jews. So Esther and the king was furious because Esther was Jewish and she would have to be killed. So instead, the king and Esther did a plan to kill Haman. And so they had a banquet, and they got Haman's co-workers or cohorts so drunk that they couldn't tell who Mordecai was. And so instead of killing Mordecai, they actually killed Haman. And Purim is the last festival before Passover as an occasion to use up the flour in the house before Passover. Have you guys heard that before?
Yeah.
And Haman is the reason that they call them Hamantaschen is that they're shaped in a triangle because Haman wore a three-corner hat. The three corners represent Queen Esther's strength from the founders of Judaism, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's another theory. They also resemble dice from the ancient Babylonian game of Ur, which suggests they symbolize the pyramid shape of the dice cast by Haman and determining the day of destruction for the Jews. So did you guys know all that, or did you learn something new?
I know about the hat.
The hat I didn't know about.
I knew the hat.
Oh. Yeah, you knew the hat. Yep.
Yeah, I knew the hat.
So
I didn't know about the getting drunk.
No. And the McGregor.
all right. So can you guys see? Wait a minute, let me see.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So, nope. Right there we go. Okay, I'm new at this. So here's the Hamantaschen. I made so you can use for what?
Holly, I just want to say to you, I didn't know any of that, so thank you very much.
Oh, good.
I didn't know any
All
of that.
right. So, they all are at the three-corner shape.
Hold up. Let's see. So just hold it up. There you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So this one actually, I did not use an egg wash. So
Okay.
they're a little more golden. And then this one, I did the egg wash. So I don't know if you can see that's a little darker.
Yeah.
And the reason to use the egg wash is that it kind of glues it all together. So sometimes they come apart in the oven. So and they'll and the stuff will ooze out. So I don't know, I did them both ways. I usually don't egg wash them, but I just tried that. You can fill them with all kinds of jams. I also have, so this is solo raspberry filling that people use for cakes and stuff. The problem with this is that if you want to make a couple different flavors, you only use about a quarter of this can to do it because you only need a teaspoon per cookie. I have apricot, same company. This, I used some of this and some of the ones I made ahead of time. Simply Fruit.
Yeah.
So that's an apricot. It's pureed, a little less sugar in it. And then I gave you the recipe. This is the first time I've done this. I did a honey nut filling. So this is honey and nuts. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on how that gets made. So I made that. And then I really like dates. Dates are healthy. And so this one, let me show you. I just made this. This is a date and nut paste. It's got cinnamon in it and almond extract, dates. Dates don't need sugar because they've already got plenty of sugar. So that just gets boiled together. And that's a nice filling as well. And then I gave you a recipe for, I don't know if you can see here, this cookie right here, the
Okay.
pinwheels. You see
Yeah.
those in the middle?
Yeah,
So the filling for that is, I gave you the recipe for that cookie, but mostly because that filling also works for Hamantaschen. This cookbook comes from 1965 from McCall's. It was $1 at the time. I got it at like the Pequot Library book sale. But then I just wanted to show you one thing because Westport, Westport is connected to everything. So you all see that picture? That's a gingerbread cookie,
yep,
Angel. So that's designed by Walter Einsel, who
Wow.
lived in Westport. So I don't know if you guys knew Walter and Nyad Einsel, but they had, I think between the two of them, they had like 10 or 12 US postage stamps that they designed. They were artists, they lived in Westport. So it's kind of cool. But, and these cookies, if you ever want to make something really easy, these date cookies are really good, easy. You roll them up and then you can put them in the freezer. And when you need them, you slice and bake them. And they look like you're kind of fancy looking and they're delicious. So I gave you that recipe too.
Holly, can I interject something here for everybody?
Sure.
The Eisels designed the quilts that's hanging in town hall.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
So yeah, they were neighbors. Yeah, and she just died recently, a year or so
Very
ago. Last time I
She
saw her, she was in the Westport Historical Society all by herself. Nobody knew who she was. Nobody
Yeah.
cared. I think I was the only one that knew her, that knew of her, and went up and spoke to her.
So she came to the senior center late in her life. And one evening, we were open at Thursday nights in those days. She came in with her aide and I knew who she was. So I said, she said her name and I said, oh, I know who you are. And she said, you do? And I said, yes, you're famous. And she looked at her aide. She looked at her aide and said, I told you I was famous.
This is exactly the feeling I got that day at the Historical Society.
Yeah,
I wanted
she was
to
lovely.
know that she was recognized.
Yeah, she was a talent. Oh my gosh. All right, so
The older I get, the
So
more
we're
I'm
gonna
learning
make-
history.
I'm gonna start off by making the dough, and I sent you all the recipe. There's not a lot of ingredients in here. It says 35 servings. I made 24 out of this, so doesn't make a lot of cookies, which is good. And it's a basic sugar dough. What's interesting about this one, this is by Tori Avery, is that this one does not have baking powder in it. If you look, there's lots of different recipes for Hamantaschen. There's a yeast dough. I found a recipe, Mimi Sheraton, who was the New York Times food editor. Hers has cream cheese, so sometimes people do a cream cheese dough. And then this is a butter dough. So I like the ones that don't have baking powder in them. Joan and I were talking when she first came on. The ones you buy in the store are they're kind of cakey and doughy, and that's because they use baking powder. These cookies will be a little more crispy than that. So that's why I picked this one. And and Joan also asked, if you don't want to make Hamantaschen out of this dough, you could just cut them out in circles and put some sprinkles on them, and they'd be a delicious cookie. So the orange rind is what really makes it. So we're going to make the dough, which is just a basic cookie dough. And our KitchenAid mixer. Now the trick with this cookie dough and any cookie dough really is I leave the butter out for a couple hours to soften, or you can put it in the microwave, but it needs to be soft and room temperature. Otherwise, the cookie won't blend well. You can't incorporate a lot of air into it, which makes for a better cookie. So you really have to start with butter that's quite soft. Not melted though, it's gotta just be soft. And then we're gonna add 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And put the mixer on, and there we go. And then it gets 1 egg and some vanilla, a teaspoon of vanilla. throw that in. You know, Tori Avery's recipe has pages of directions, and most of that is just how to shape the cookie. So, because otherwise it looks kind of scary recipe, but the making of the dough is very easy. So I'm just gonna put the egg in here. Have to scrape down the edge of the bowl. If you guys can you guys see, or
Yeah.
better up there?
Yeah.
We scrape the bowl down a little bit. They actually have a blade for the KitchenAid. My husband bought it for me Christmas a couple years ago. It has a scraper on the side and it does a little better job of scraping the bowl, but no big deal. So we'll just do that. Now it wants a teaspoon of grated orange zest. That's really, to me, the key ingredient in this recipe. So now we have, you guys can see that, but we now have, have to figure out. Okay, so now we have, it's kind of creamy. And we're gonna make orange zest. And this is, if you're gonna bake, or really any cookie, orange zest, it's got the oil in it. It's what adds flavor to dishes without having to add liquid to it. So, you know, when I wanna just add some flavor and I don't wanna add liquid to something, you just take a zester. So it's just a big like file, and I'm gonna just take it across the top upside down, because when I do it upside down, it's going to catch the zest. And I'm gonna do a whole teaspoon of zest.
Holly,
Yes,
Holly, I don't remember putting zest in the last time we made them.
I may have done a different recipe. I don't know. Hopefully you'll come by tomorrow and pick them up, because these are really
Yeah,
good.
because Virginia and I made them together and I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Do you know, Virginia, if we put zest in them? Is she there?
Is there a problem?
I have to, I wasn't unmuted.
Is there a
Yeah,
problem?
I don't remember, Joyce. It was a couple, was it last year? No, it wasn't last year. It was a couple of years.
No.
ago.
Oh, 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so now they want,
But if we didn't, we should, because it's a good thing to put in. I put it in almost everything.
yeah, okay.
Imagine it gives it a good flavor.
now I'm going to, they want you to sift the flour. And when we bake, we want to be very precise about flour. So I'm going to dig into this barrel, and I'm going to take a flat blade, and we're going to tap the top so that this flour settles into the cup, and then we're going to level it off. I should have actually, I should have sifted it, but I didn't. So I'll sift this one. So again, get it. Sift it. This is my sifter. It's a very old-fashioned sifter. It's only got one little blade, but it goes very quickly. So
I had one of those once. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah,
you don't have to sift. It really doesn't make a big
You
difference.
can use,
I want a quarter of a cup of flour.
you can use a wire mesh that you use for
Right.
straining fruit.
That's right. You can do that as well.
Same thing. That's what I use.
Yeah. I have lots of gadgets at home, so.
I threw that one away. It got rusty.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. And I don't put salt in. There's a little bit of salt in my butter, because I have a half a stick of salted butter, so. Skip the salt. And we're gonna just let this mix, and it's gonna look really crumbly, but that's okay, because we're just gonna push it together. And if you really think it's dry, then you can put a little bit of water in. Now I need, let me get. So we don't want to over mix it, because flour has gluten in it. Gluten is protein. Protein is what traps the so you can see, let me see if I can show you guys this, that it's very crumbly, right?
Yes.
So it's got a lot of crumbs. That's okay. So what we're gonna do is I have a sheet of wax paper, old fashioned wax paper. I prefer wax paper because nothing sticks to it. You can use saran if you want. I'm just used to using it. Put about half the dough in here. Some off. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just with the wax paper, I'm gonna make kind of a disc. So I'll push it all together. And hold it up. And now I've got a solid dough. And this is going to go in the fridge and get chilled. You can't roll it until it's chilled. Now I'll make another. This might take 3. Maybe I can get it all in this one. Keep pulling it into the center. And if you do it with smaller amounts, it'll chill faster. So I think last night I let it chill for about a half hour in the freezer, and I was able to roll it out. So put it in the fridge for maybe about an hour, 2, and then I'll do one more.
Holly, you gotta say after the break when we're back. Like a
What?
commercial. You gotta do it like a commercial after the break.
Okay, so these are going to go in the fridge real quick. I'll be right back.
What commercial should we run? I don't know. I like the Geico commercials. They're always funny.
Okay, so the hardest part, and that was the easy part of making these cookies. The hardest part of any cookie that has to be rolled is getting the dough at the right temperature that you can roll it. So hopefully this has been out for a few minutes. I had refrigerated it overnight. Feels pretty good. So the recipe asks for a 3-inch cookie cutter, round. These are really cool.
Hold up.
So they have a scalloped edge, and then there's a series that are a flat edge. And they're plastic. They don't rust, which is nice. So this is my 3-inch. For Hammond fashion, I have done the scalloped edge, but I prefer to just do the plain edge. It's more traditional. So we're gonna need that. I'm gonna flour my board. I love gadgets, and I love debate. So this is oops, what happened?
Where'd your screen go?
Someone's trying to call me. I don't know.
Decline it. Decline it.
That's not it. Okay. All right. So this is a
Hold up, Holly.
flour duster. You guys see it's a spring.
Every 6 months.
So when I open it up, I go down into the flour. I'll grab some flour, and then you'll see what I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to grab some flour, and I'm going to just dust. So that way you don't get a lot of flour. If I do too much flour, the cookies get tough. So we don't want to do that. And I'm going to use this rolling pin today. Let's see. Sometimes I use my silicone one, but I'm going to grab a little bit of flour in here, and I'm going to dust my rolling pin. used to make my doughs the day before, and then the next day when I came home from work, I would roll them out and cut them.
Holly, can you move the date bag that's in front? There you go. Much better.
Okay. Then I have this little guy, just a piece of plastic, and it's sort of a bench knife, so it goes underneath. You want to move the dough so it doesn't get stuck. I'm rolling out on a King Arthur silicone mat. You can also, I like to roll out on wood as well, but I happen to have this, it's easy to travel with. Like I said, I got a lot of gadgets, so turn the dough again. Now I have on the rolling pin, I don't know if you guys can see them, but these yellow rubber bands.
Yeah,
So they come in a set. And there's different sizes. So it's like these big rubber bands. And that way, if the recipe says roll to a 1/4 inch, you pick the yellow one. If you want a 1/2 inch, you pick the white ones. And then you're always going to roll evenly. So, so my dough is breaking up a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to just take that to the side. A little bit more flour. Push some of my cracks together. I think that is it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut a circle. And this thing's handy, so you can go underneath and pick it up. And I need to get my put that on the tray. Now is it going to make another circle? So I'm just going to gather it up. So your hands are about 97 degrees, and you don't want to handle the dough too much. But I'm going to attempt to re-roll this little scrap. We'll see what happens. Push it down. Sometimes I flip it over. A little more.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, that's okay. We'll push it together. All right, there we go. So I'm going to give that a rest. A little bit of cracks in it, so we'll push it together. See if I can get all this together.
That's for Paul, right, Holly?
Yeah, the rejects.
Mhm.
It tastes just as good.
My husband, when I bake cookies, I'm usually baking for other people. So he comes into the kitchen, he goes, "Don't you have any rejects for me?" Because he knows that's all he gets is rejects. He doesn't get the pretty ones. So happy to get rejects. Jason's also willing to take rejects as well.
I get, my food at night is whatever the girls don't eat, which is a problem.
Okay, I think that's it. One more maybe. It's maybe my reject cookie, but that's okay. That tastes good. Might get one more. Yep, that's gonna be it. Okay. So now. All right, so now for folding. So we have these circles. You guys all see my circles?
Yeah,
Yes,
they're beautiful.
yep.
Well, now we'll see the trick. It's gonna be.
Here,
the
do it
fold.
one more time, Holly.
One more time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, so we got these 3-inch circles. You can make them bigger, like the grocery store sometimes has really huge ones. I prefer this. This is the traditional size.
I like them small. I like them small.
I'm gonna make some apricot. Let's do some apricot first. I only want a teaspoon of jam or filling in the middle. So I'm just gonna put a little dab of apricot. Now, what we're gonna do, and I gotta somehow figure out this.
Yeah.
How to get this where you guys can see. Working on, let me see, I'm working on this one, but you don't, let me see, why are we not seeing that?
There
There
you
we
go.
go. There we go.
There we go, okay. So I gotta work out here. All right, so what we're gonna do is take two sides. And what you wanna do is, you're gonna pinch it. And these are gonna, they're gonna break and that's okay. And then, so one side goes first. The other side should go on top. That helps to seal the filling in and then pinch the end. So now what I have is what I call a cornucopia, right? Doesn't that look
Yeah.
sort of like a cornucopia? Then, you guys can see, let me see. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this top up and that's gonna give, and again, one goes under, one goes over, doesn't matter if it's left or right. And we're gonna pinch the end. And there we go, we're gonna pinch the last end.
Huh.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple of them so you guys can kind of get the picture of it. Okay, so there you go. There's one. That's apricot. It's I'll do a date one.
Holly, can you put it back where you originally just had that one? Just, yeah, that looks good.
I gotta be up here.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, so this is apricot. This is date. And dates and apricots. I have some fig jam. They're all and the honey nut one. All of those ingredients would come from, like, some of these are, they've been around 1,000 years. So some of them are, BC, and dates are in the Bible. So these are more traditional flavors. The raspberry, although people really like it, and I did make some raspberries earlier today. That would not be a traditional flavor because it's not really Middle Eastern. But apricots, dates, figs, that's all from the Middle East, and oranges too. So again, I made my cornucopia, right? And then I just bring this top flap up, push one side under, one side goes over, pinch the edge. Again, I'm gonna pinch the edge. You know what? They're not gonna all look perfect, and that's okay, because they look, to me, that means they're homemade. They're gonna taste
Holly?
great. Yes,
There's the poppy seed, which is known as mun. That's a very
That's right.
traditional.
yes, poppy is prune.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
poppy seed is poppies.
No, I
It's-
know,
it-
but then prune is another one that's
Prune is
traditional.
another one, but one that I personally love is the one made with poppy seeds.
You like the poppy. Yeah, I didn't do that, but you can buy the poppy seed one. Solo is the company that makes the raspberry and the apricot. They also make
Right.
a poppy one. Yep.
I looked for it. I couldn't find it this year.
I didn't, I had a hard time finding the apricot and the raspberry, actually. So I'm gonna make
Yes.
some, this one's gonna be date. Dates are sort of, fig and dates are in nutritional value, they're sort of similar. They're kind of like a fig Newton. And this one was, I like this one. So again, we're gonna take an end and just bring one under, one over. Well, this one's gonna break up on me. And this is when like this one's breaking up. I would probably want to put a egg wash on it and that'll just help set it up. And again, over and under. So, and we just push it together. What else? So this is the honey nut one. So this, you can see it.
Mhm.
This is honey, and you have a recipe for it, honey and butter, and chopped up mixed nuts. I happen to have mixed nuts from left over from Christmas. So this is pistachios, cashews, walnuts, there's some peanuts in here, and it's honey. And then you put half a cup of water, and you boil it for like an hour. So you kind of have to be around the stove to do it. I'm not sure I would do this again, but it's tasty, and you definitely taste the honey. And again, this would be a more traditional filling for it. Most of these nut trees are from tropical areas. So again, let me do it up here. So we're gonna pull these two together, push one down, one goes over the top, we pinch the end. So we make our little cornucopia. This one comes up. That's gonna make that one. And then this one's gonna go under and make that one. That's that.
It sounds like you're tying a shoe.
I know. I'll make another. Does anybody have questions?
You're just using, what do I want to say? Paper. You're not greasing anything.
No, I always use parchment. I gotta find it at school.
Right.
Parchment keeps them from burning on the bottom. So, and it's just cleanup is so much easier, and they slide right
Yeah.
off. So
I hope you like my cookie cutter.
let me
I don't know
see.
if you see it.
Oh yeah, right. That works.
I
Yeah.
got it. I got these imported jams, and I don't have. When I moved, I think I got rid of all my sets.
Yes. This one's not going to be a happy cookie, but that's okay. This will be Jason's cookie because it doesn't. Jason, this one's for you.
Can't wait.
It's not looking that pretty, but it's okay.
It works.
All right, so when I come back.
I think you could do peach. I mean, you can do anything you want. Joan has a fruits of the forest jam she's going to use.
Have you tried the hazelnut chocolate spread?
No.
I just read about it.
Oh, you mean like Nutella?
Yes,
Yeah, that could
people,
work.
people are using Nutella. And by the way, I got a whole load of savory Hamantaschen recipes.
Savory.
Savory,
Huh.
yes.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
What's in the savory ones?
Well, there are pizza ones. There are,
Ooh,
taco flavored ones. I could forward them to you. I've gotten a whole load of ones.
Oh my
that is
gosh. Wow.
that you can make little hors d'oeuvre kind of things out of them.
Yeah, I wonder what the dough is. It can't be sweet like this, though, I wouldn't think.
No,
Oh, huh. Interesting.
I can forward them to you.
Well, I mean, this particular fold would be easy to do with any dough. You could do it with pie dough easily.
Right.
And yeah. And then fill it with whatever you want. More apricot after this, and then we're done.
So what are the techniques on the folding? Again, Holly?
Want me to do the folding again? Okay.
Well, move the spoon
Yep. I gotta move this one.
and, yeah.
So,
Just look at the screen and make sure people can,
Okay, so- we're gonna put a little bit of filling in the middle,
Mhm.
and then what you're gonna do is take one corner, two corners with my
Hey,
fingers.
look at, your hands are
Hands
kind of in
blocking
the way.
Camera.
Okay, let's see, how can I
So
do this?
do one fold and then we'll explain it and then we'll go to the next. All right, so do the fold now. Let's look at that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get
Let's
your-
look at that. So watch out for your hands, Holly.
all right, so you've got what I call the cornucopia. This one is folded under that one. I'm gonna have to squeeze that one together.
Okay.
And then, can you see if I go up here maybe?
Yes, that looks
This-
better.
This one comes up. And then one goes over, one goes top. That makes that corner.
All right, so let's see that.
And then this one, once you do that, this one kind of just falls in place. So that goes there. That's it. You get a triangle.
And you know, I guess if they're not perfect, they're okay too, right? They go to the reject pile and Jason gets to eat them.
Exactly. Now, what
I
you
like,
could do,
I like
if you
where
don't,
that's at.
if you don't want to do the fold, I did this this morning. I had like the last piece of dough.
Yeah.
So you have a circle, right? So let's take,
We can't see what you're doing.
Yeah,
okay, all right.
scooch it up just a little bit.
I gotta scooch up.
Scooch.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, so we have a circle. And what we can do is, I'll do more apricot. So this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on this half. And then if you want to, really.
We could
you can
roll
just-
it.
You can, well, this is falling apart, but you can make it into more of like a half moon.
Yeah,
Calzone.
yeah.
half moon, and then take a fork.
And
do that? Yeah, I mean, this one's not gonna work, but because they're getting a little too warm in the
Yeah.
kitchen. But you can do that. I can take some of this nut mixture.
Right, these look like a Jason special.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with them.
So you can just flip it over in half. Then again, just take a fork and seal it, just like you're sealing a dumpling, that's all.
Perfect.
So this dough is getting too warm, that's why they're falling apart, but that's it. So you can do them that way, and you know, they're not the shape of Hamantaschen, but otherwise it all tastes the same, so.
Hey, listen, Holly, I'm sorry. I gotta go. Something just came up. I have to leave. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Yep.
Thanks.
All right, anybody have questions?
No, just
You
a
guys gonna
comment.
stop by and does anybody want to stop by and pick them up for tomorrow?
I do,
Who's I?
Joanne.
Oh, Joanne's coming? Good. Okay, I'll put your name on a bag. Who else? That it?
Joyce is raising her hand.
No, I
Um,
should come tomorrow.
Gloria will
Oh.
be there.
Until
Virginia.
what? Until
4:30.
what time?
4:30.
4:30, okay, thank you.
3:30 to 4:30.
Hey, Gloria said she wants some.
Is Gloria on the phone?
Yes,
She-
she is.
Oh, hi, Gloria.
Hi,
Yeah,
how
okay.
are you?
All right, so Gloria and
I won't have
Joan,
time to make them, so this will be a treat.
Joan and Gloria and Joyce.
Joanne. Joyce said no.
I
Joanne
can't. I won't
Beltry?
be able to come.
Right, thank
Okay.
you.
Yep. Okay, great.
So drive up to the front and call?
And just call